Yeah, very good morning to all. Okay. So today we have a topic MCSL 228 lab that is related to artificial intelligence and machine learning lab. So in this session, we are supposed to start with the concepts of machine learning and basically you need to understand what is the concepts of this machine learning all about. I hope you all are through with the theory part, and in this session we are supposed to talk more on practicals about how to start and how to get into the machine learning. Okay. And we are supposed to work on the various different types of methods to get into the machine learning and artificial intelligence. So there is a, I hope the theory part is quite clear to all of you that the best practices, because AI is a very vast domain. You need to understand like how the AI works actually. So AI is nothing but it's a very vast domain, and machine learning is a subset of AI. Okay. So even in machine learning there are various different technologies, like you might heard about neural networks, deep neural networks and all. That is also again the subset of machine learning. So it is like you can say a group, and the lot of components within the group is trying to create a one big model of AI, that is artificial intelligence. Okay. So MSCL, your 228, that is related to artificial intelligence and machine learning. So we'll just talk more on this in detail, right? And practically we'll try to incorporate the things. But before you start machine learning, just want to confirm how many of you really have a good hands-on on Python. Means, are you guys are comfortable in Python? We are supposed to do a lot of practicals. So and I'll give you the guide, like how you can start, how you can initiate. My concern is, are you good in Python? Yes, you can type on chat or unmute if possible for you. Otherwise you can type on chat that yes, you are comfortable in Python or not. Okay. Okay. Suvidha, great. Thank you, Mohit. Fine. So, Priya, okay, wonderful. So, shall I consider that everybody is quite comfortable in Python? Because if you are not aware how to work with Python, then it is little difficult for you to get into machine learning. You need to understand the architecture of machine learning. Okay, and accordingly we need to perform and we need to do a lot of things on it. So my concern is how to work on machine learning. You need to cater a lot of things, but before you should be very good on Python. Any student who is not aware about Python and they even have some fear factor with programming, so please let me know. I'll guide you how you are supposed to work on those models as well, and so that you can at least continue your the advanced techniques which we are planning to incorporate in machine learning and artificial intelligence, right? So everybody should start working and at least do some basic hands-on with Python, which is very important, right? Without that we cannot implement although for data science and data analytics, which are relevant to a lot of things, but it is quite different, quite completely different out of it. So the nutshell, I'll just give you the real time nutshell how you are supposed to work and do certain practicals. The nutshell is you have to collect the data. right? The data from any business application. So there are a lot of various business applications, like you might heard about healthcare, or some e-commerce, or social media, right? So the purpose is to start with, we are supposed to collect some data, right? And initially, in fact, you in your books, I was just looking for, even initially you have to work with the data science algorithms, or data management algorithms, or how to handle or transpose that data. Basically, you need to normalize your data. So I hope you also have some basic idea about structured and unstructured data sets, semi-structured data sets. So that is in your theory, and mostly even in exam, these kind of questions comes very frequently, I believe, whenever you give an exam for machine learning or for data science and all. So how you will handle the data? See, machine learning, whenever we are in machine learning, it means what? Let's say I'll just give you some idea. First of all, you need to understand how human intelligence is correlated with the machine intelligence. What is artificial intelligence? So first you need to understand that, like a human psychology, as per the human psychology, let's say today if I'll give you the way to learn something, right? And think practically that, say you people remember ABCD till date. You are in MCA, and you know what is the way to work on the basic English alphabets. So I think everybody remember A to Z, right? We need not to teach you, you are well versed of it. But if I'll ask you again at the same time, what about k kh g and all? Can you recite the way like you learn k kh g? Or now if I'll ask you, you are in MCA, what about your last semester? Like in last semester, any topic, or leave last semester, last week, if you had some reading of any particular topic, or you might appear for an exam, right? If I'll ask you something related to that topic, is it like similar way you remember all those things? So where is your intelligence and how your brain works? If you know that concept, if you understand the concept, it is quite easy for us to make a, a mimic model, or a parallel model, similar like model, where we are talking like how the machines will gonna grab the intelligence of a human. And finally, we are supposed to make a machine as an intelligent machine. So what are the steps, what are the concepts on that? Many of the students, like you might know how to drive the vehicle and all, like especially bikes or cars and all. So if you are proficient and you are doing this job from last multiple years, or from a longer run, I think now you become quite confident. In fact, you might had an accident, uh, but still you have a courage to drive, and especially on Delhi roads, it's really dangerous to drive. So think about how proficient you become. So what is the way how human become a proficient and how human become an intelligent? Today means you learn ABCD, as I said, you learn that ABCD almost, if I am not wrong, you are in 18 years before, somewhere 17, 18 years before you learned like those things, and still you remember, even you are not practicing. Did you ever practice, like yesterday? Did you remember, you really recite ABCD and all that? No. And you remember that part like 16, 17, 18, 19 years before, right? And since your childhood, before you went to the school, your parents taught you ABCD, but at that time the thing was, still remember to you. So what is the concept? So try and understand the concept. The concept is like, Human have generally, there's a two parts of the brain. One is we used to call it a conscious and subconscious brain. What is the purpose of this? Let me talk with us now little bit with the neurology and your uh, uh, you need to understand the functionalities of your brain, the way it works, what are neurons, and and how these neurons and neural networks are working. So need to understand all these concepts in depth. So first, what is this architecture? First, try and understand. The moment you were a very young and your parents taught you ABCD, along with that ABCD, they always try to make you the repetition of those words. Even at that time, if you are not remember, they'll recall you and they'll give you idea and they'll give you some image. Now let us assume they'll give you an apple, right? They shown you an apple. See, this is the apple which you have to have it, and that is A for apple. So basically what happened, you got an image of of that particular object, and that image was resided in your brain along with what we need to call this object. And that is what A for apple becomes and very clear to your imagination at that time. And the best part, your memory is just like your hard drive, which was completely vacant at the time once you buy a new laptop. Same way, once you are grown up, you are about to grow, you are a really infant, right? At the time once you were infant, you actually grab a new concept and you can process that concept very easily. And today, I think your all hard drives being exhausted, and only you remember whatever is important and whatever is basic things which is possible for you, and you do practice on it. The more practice you do, the more accurate or confident you become into it. Same thing. You didn't practice ka kha ga a lot because we used to speak Hindi very frequently, but in India we focus more on like A, B, C, D, and that is why we were on to it, right? But if you really, your parents really focused you on ka kha ga, then I believe and I must be sure that you still remember that ka kha ga and you can recite it properly. So the concept, try and understand. The more you practice, the more you refine, the more you filter, you'll get accurate data. Accurate data. And let us assume that somebody would taught you that, okay, no, I'll show you a ball, and I'll say this is A for ball, A for ball. If I'll say something like this, and and if our community teach you that no, A for ball, then don't you think so you always say A for ball? Because where is the standard, how you correlate the things, and the others also able to understand, because the language is always for the communication purpose. So try and understand whenever you're communicating. If I'll say I'll show you a ball and I'll teach you that A for ball, then throughout the life you will say A for ball. So that object mapped with the keyword, and it was, memorized by you. So the concept, try and understand what I'm saying, how intelligent, how human become an intelligent. Today you might be a good intelligent person in your topics, in your area of concern. So how you guys are working, you need to learn and you need to remember that part, you need to understand that part. Same thing happen in the brain. So that means in the brain we have two different parts of the brain. One is conscious brain, another is subconscious brain. Your conscious brain works like a ram, I would say, just like a ram, and your subconscious brain is acting just like your hard drives. So try and understand, like, probably you appear for some examination, or you're about to appear for the examination in the month of December or so, right? So whenever you got a theory exam, probably you spend 6 months on that topic or not, but day before you open your books, you spend only 4 5 good productive hours on it, on that book, you go through with all the important topics and all that stuff, and you remember that and you deliver the exam. And the best part, we got a best marks also out of it, right? 60, 70, 80, 90% or 100 or 100%. Concern is, and what happened after the exams? You must have seen, just after the exams, if somebody would ask you, hey, what you answer for that question, your simple answer is, oh, please do not ask me for this, right? You generally say, please don't ask me for this, because that was in your only and only conscious brain, and you just flush your conscious brain on the examination time. Just give me a minute. Okay. So, uh, need to understand how the things process. Okay. So, if we talk about remembering, right, how you remember the things, how you really remember whatever the activity is being performed by you. So, what is the best practice? Means the more you practice, the more you learn. So, I was talking about your examination model. So the day you remember everything a day before your exam, you recall everything, you cluster the content, the relevant knowledge in your conscious brain, and you flush that memory directly in your on your paper, and after the paper it becomes all blank. Why it happens? Because you don't try to keep it for a permanent basis. We collect huge data, frequent data, every time in every particular seconds we use to collect the data. And the more we collect the data, the more it is difficult for everybody, like right. uh, so it becomes really difficult for everybody to memorize and to get the things done. But the more you practice daily, whatever you are practicing, that data is not in your conscious brain, it goes from conscious brain to your subconscious brain. And once any information goes to your subconscious brain, that is a time which is a permanent memory, and as and when required, you can answer it quite often without any reading books or so that could call it as an experience. We used to call it as an experience generally. What is the word called experience? It means you practice things a lot. Now, this is the way how human get into the intelligence, that is human intelligence. How can we convert human intelligence to machine learning intelligence and machine or any device intelligence or machine intelligence? Now it means first you need refined data, accurate data. A for apple, that is a sample, right? Never say if A becomes a ball, right? And then automatically some error must be, pop-ups. So it means we need certain standards sometime from where we can correlate. We have data, something standardized data, and we create another level of data And once a user create a data, that user data need to be correlated, compared, or processed with some standardized data. And if you have some standardized data, and you have a new data where we have to correlate and identify that my machine can able to answer that query properly or not. So it means we have to work on data. We have to make that data memorized. So we want some data set. We want to train the machine of that particular data set, which is highly accurate, highly filtered, and for comparison and for a big strength, we have to create a one big model. We have to create a very big model where you can collect lot of information and the accurate information, so that the more accurate information you have, the more output, more experience based results you can generate, and the level of accuracy would be very high at that same stage. So this is the practice, this is the purpose, this is a procedure, that how you can incorporate machine learning. Why machine to be get trained? You'll say always we have a data, and we have a data in the hard drive. Then why machine learning? Because you have a lot of data where you have some garbage, you have unstructured, you have unmanaged models. So first you need to make a filtration. So that is why we want a transformation of the data, which is very, very important. So first step, collect the data. Check what is the state of that data, whether it is in the labeled data. If it is a labeled data, then in machine learning you must heard about the one of the category called a supervised learning. So there are three different generally types of machine learning model, although has been derived or nested derives were there. But supervised learning. What is supervised learning? That means your data must be labeled. Labeling data means the data could be in Excel form, MS Excel, SQL databases, MySQL, or any database, right? So that is in the way like your data got labeled. Now, if you got a labeled data, that labeled data which was already organized in your databases or on Excel sheet or any spreadsheet or so, now the concern is whether that data is normalized data or unnormalized, or whether it is transformed or not. So we need to figure out how to work on data normalization. What is data normalization? I hope you heard databases. Databases, everybody? You worked on databases?
Yes, yes.
Perfect. So normalization. So first normalization form, second normalization form, third normalization form of database. Then you might heard about one is BCNF, Boyce Codd normalization form. Then probably few of the book says you better go to the fifth normalization form, or few of the say okay, turn or convert your data from uh, for BCNF to back to third normalization. So generally it is called that you have a third normalization form where there is no repetitive data. All the rows must be filled like according to normalization. Your all the cells must be filled with some data that should not be blank, should be carries a proper data, and in that proper format. Even if you know what is the date format, you must check what is the acceptable adaptable date format according to the database or any spreadsheet whatever you are using. So you have a formatting of that data. You have to keep that information in a proper way, and there should not be any data which should be a blank. Probably in normalization, first normalization, you have a repetition of data. So second, we are talking about second, I'll just give you a review. Second normalization means you are trying to convert your data into a master table, transaction tables, and you are going to make a relationship in that, but still sometimes there is a repetition of data, recursive data or somewhere. So the best normalization is your third normalization. That means we have to maintain the data which is the third normalized data, and that is very, very important, because that is the data from where we can process. That is the accurate data which we can take it as a master table. We can take it as a learned data, certain standardized data, and slow and gradually we need to add that data more. The more data you have, the more accuracy comes across. This is the very basic funda of your machine learning. Okay, so we have to train that data. It is supervised learning. So we need to learn a lot of algorithms, how to handle such data or transform your data into a supervised learning. That means labeled data. So this is the practice which you have to do. Now, in case if you have unmanaged data, now unmanaged data, let's say we'll take social media data, right? Recently, you must have seen like yesterday, I think that was some results coming for, let's say, Bihar elections. Okay, so I'll go to Twitter, LinkedIn, or x.com. I'll collect some data on particular keyword, and all that data, each post to be kept in the form of txt file. And let's say if I write a keyword, any hot topic, whatever is going today, or let's say even I'll talk about machine learning or artificial intelligence on social media, any of the social media part, and I'll got some information that must be in lakhs of post. And you can even filter like for a day or 2 days or 24, 48 hours, 72 hours. And last 72 hours, if you collect some information, you got a lakhs of posts. So that post, each post to be kept in the form of txt file. So in technical term, we used to call it corpus. The right word for it is called corpus. We need to create a corpus of a particular category which carries a lot of information, and each information, like for each user, each post, we keep that information in the text file. So once the data within that text file, okay, so once that data is in the text file, and it is obviously unmanaged data, right? So unstructured data. Now to handle unstructured, we also have like supervised for the managed and labeled data. So unsupervised data handling is possible. Again, there are a lot of different ways of algorithms, and you must be good in some mathematics. Some basic mathematics is also important. Please try and understand. Okay, so you need to learn certain algorithms, you need to do some practice on those algorithms, and based on that we can handle like unstructured data, all text files. So we have to, even there is a concept that we can try to go for an indexing of those text files, and we those docs, and from those doc files or those text files we extract the information. We'll capture some information, and on that basis will filter and convert that data back to some supervised, or even directly you can handle unsupervised data based on keyword searching techniques and other techniques. Okay, so there are ways to handle that data. There is a one more technique of machine learning. I don't know whether it is in your course right now or not, but I'll just guide you. The third one is reinforcement learning. A reinforcement is like based on like you can say a feedback model. Okay, the more feedback you got, the more you will understand what is opinion or suggestions. Okay, and what is the level of accuracy. So that could be more used for maintenance and generating high accuracy level. So there are various other ways by which we can also use the reinforcement learning. So machine learning is into three major categories: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. So ultimately, you have to collect the data, you have to normalize that data. Now, after normalization, sometimes we have to, transform the data. Now, what is data transformation in machine learning? Data transformation means, see, it is highly recommended if you are really working for the analytical purpose of that data, then it is highly recommended you should transform your data from any string to an integer. Do you know for date also we have an integer number? Do you know this? means you got a one integer number and you can convert that integer into a form of a date. So the date is exactly written in the integer numbers, mostly in all your social media part. I'm sorry, I'm not well, but I'll try to speak. And so I have a some little throat problem, but I'll try to cover. Okay. So try and understand how this model performs. You need to collect various different things of different data, and finally you need to transform the data in the form of integer. Now you might have a question, sir, if we have a string, so how can we convert a string into an integer? So basically, you need to make us some categorical data or some classifications of certain data. Let's say, I'll give you a small example. Let's say you got a one survey form, and in a survey form, you are collecting some information from the various uh, open-ended public or for a particular categorical people, and their specialization of those people, they are going to fill a form. Let's say you are doing certain survey. So if there is a survey form, everybody is going to fill that form, and there, let's say we have a one field, and one field is nothing but let's say that field is your gender. Suppose I'll take it gender. So there is a two option. Suppose I'm just taking hypothetically, suppose there are two options, one is male, one is female. So gender. Okay, suppose gender is a one of the category of one field, one column of the entire form. Now if you feed a value, one is either is male or a female, so your database is also based on that data, and it is a string. So we have to transform that data. So we'll define some values for that common categorical data, because now we can categorize those data. In case if it's female, we'll mention, let's say, 0, and for male, let's say we'll mention 1. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like an array in computer science networking, I'm just giving any number, right? So we can define any number at any stage, right? So let's say if I define female as 0 and male as 1, and in this way we have some categories. So convert your data wherever it is written male, female, and convert into 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, and all. So the moment you will get that data, right? So convert that data into an integer. This is a way, how the best practice, how you can convert your data, your string into an integer. Sometimes you have ratings. So ratings can also be like best, worst, so 1 to 10, or some numerical form. So you can define those numerical form in that way and convert that information into a rating. Now suppose if it is a social media data. So if the data is a social media and you wrote any damn thing, any English, right, any content in your social media, and I got a corpus, as I use a word corpus earlier, that is nothing but the collection of each post into a text file, and we got a lakhs of files. So how we can categorize? So for that, generally we have certain algorithms to filter the data. Let's say sentiment analysis. What is sentiment analysis? Let me see how many people are talking positives, or how many people are talking negative, or how many of people are talking neutral. So I created three categories: 0, 1, 2. Again, if the people are talking more positive, I'll create that number or that name of that document into a count, that this number, this document number is saying positive. So we'll say, and we'll create a one column sentiment analysis, and we are saying this is the user, and their value is 0 or 1 or 2. That means that user is speaking. 0 means positive, 1 means negative, or 2 means neutral, or whatever, any way. So same thing, you try to create certain clusters or classification, and for that we need to learn the algorithms. And the impact is, we'll learn behavioral analysis, we can go for prediction analysis, We can go for sentiment analysis and various other methods incorporated. You can go with various methods of regression. And so we have a various categorical part: classification, clustering is for unstructured data, classification is for structured data, right? So supervised data we use classification for, unsupervised we do clustering. So various things like whatever the type of data you have, we have to apply those methods or certain algorithms on that existing data to convert and data, and finally convert your transform your data into a numerical form. And whatever the data generated in the numerical form will train that data to the machine. So this is the purpose. This is a core practical behavior of your machine learning. So we'll train that. And now, anytime if that user comes across, so we know earlier that user was talking positively or talking negatively on that particular topic, any particular scenario. Based on that, we can correlate, we can analyze, we can predict. If this user comes again, that means this user is going to do this activity because we know their behavior. This is what happening in your day-to-day life. All the mobile apps which you are using, even today the latest operating system which you are using in your laptops, are completely doing surveillance and grabbing each and every information with each and every attribute of that data being captured. And once it is captured, that data being used for the analytical and for AI driven, and for the level of accuracy they collect such data, find the go for a fine tuning on that data, transform that data, right, normalize and then transform that data. And finally, after data normalization and transformation, if the data is quite accurate, they'll transfer that data to the machine learning model. Understood what is the practice? So once you remember, this is the way how we called it as an experience. Today, if you are good in any topic, if I'll ask you, even you are sleeping, if I'll ask you how to do this, and you are well versed with that, even you are in unconscious mind, you are sleeping, but if somebody will disturb you and ask you immediately that question, you can answer it correctly because you practice a lot and you have accuracy of that data, and your data comes back from your brain. So that means that data goes to subconscious brain, that could be processed by the subconscious brain. So that is the memorizing model. What to be memorized and what is to be considered as a garbage. Collect that data for a certain period and flush it. And because you are not practicing and you are not taking keen interest on it, that data automatically overlaps, like similar like your RAM. So that is why I gave you a small example that you have a conscious brain which you are using it as a RAM, and you have a subconscious brain where you practice, you filter, you process your data in depth, and finally you got the level of accuracy. And that accuracy is in your subconscious brain, and that is the best practice where you learn and do whatever you want. Understood how you can correlate human intelligence with artificial intelligence, and what is the role of machine learning, what we have to train to the machine. So we have to we need a highly tuned and highly justified and highly accurate data. Otherwise, one single mistake, one incorrect information fed in your machine learning, right, take my words, that that entire model become a disaster for you. I hope you must have seen various movies. Anybody watch that movie Robot 2.1, or Robot, and then Chitti movie of this Rajnikant and all. So you must have seen that's a memory chip. If it is positive, they perform like anything. But if it is being replaced with the negative chip, negative data set, so it is all data set. If it is inaccurate data set, then your chitti would your robot would or AI product or AI agent would perform completely negative. So that is the ethics and the practices which we are supposed to talk about sometimes on AI ethics and AI practices. You need to make a strong, accurate, with high accuracy level. You need that similar like of data set, and then only you can train that data set back to your machine, so that your machine becomes more confident, more experienced, and with high accuracy level of data. That is the purpose behind machine learning, right? Otherwise, you will always get the answer. If you show a ball, it will say A for ball, A for ball. Do you want this answer, or you really want A for apple, that answer? So your purpose is to show a device or an image we can extract, and we can give you the details, uh, how to handle, right? Is that clear? Now let us do some practicals. I think the basics are quite clear to all of you, how we are supposed to handle machine learning and all. I quickly take you and share my screen. Yes. Now, before we get into it, do you have some Python IDE with you? We need a good Python IDE first of all to make certain practicals. Okay, this is your lab and your practical part. So first, at least you should know what we are supposed to do a practical, and what is the purpose of those practicals, how that performs. So at least we should be aware of these things, which is very, very important, right? Now, I just want to share a screen. This is your lab, artificial intelligence lab. Okay, where you have a lab sessions for artificial intelligence and for machine learning. Although it is mentioned like AI before then machine learning, but that's okay, because in this case, actually the machine learning should be taught before then you get into AI. But according to your books, it's not AI, it is related to data science algorithm, which was placed in some basic level of data science algorithm in AI. Okay, so you need to go through your trainings on that basis. I was just looking for what is Python and how you can incorporate your Python libraries, and this is how we are supposed to do. So there are various algorithms and libraries which we are supposed to run, like TensorFlow, that is more for end-to-end Python machine learning library. We used to go with Keras. Keras will give you actually a deep neural network library, which helps for like CNN, convolutional neural networks, or ANN, CNN, RNN. These are certain algorithms which we use to take it for a deep learning methodologies or neural networks. We have to use a library like Theano library for AI machine learning, where you have some CPUs and you want to make a dedicated CPU for a particular processing. So we use sometimes these kind of libraries. Very common, very often, scikit-learn, because for this, as I told you, you can do easily classification, clustering, regression kind of algorithms. So that means you are supposed to do this scikit-learn library. We have to use a PyTorch library for defining whether if your data do need to get processed, because if you have a huge data, big data, and we need to search, think practically how Google search engine give you the data. Don't you think so? Trillions of websites being registered with Google, and the moment you type any keyword, within fraction of seconds you will get top 10 hits. How Google get to know that the which website is more prioritized than other one, and what should be the content, and how they'll give you the accuracy of that data? So they need to process on the backend, then they need to create some indexed on the backend content. For that we need GPUs. Okay, high data model, we have to create a data model, so we need a PyTorch for support of GPUs and CPU computation models, and accordingly we can perform, at least we'll get a speed to process that data. You can find some basic algorithms also like NumPy. What is NumPy? That is more related to your numerical formats, matrix, arrays, or complex mathematical operations which you can perform using NumPy. We have to use some SkyPy, that is almost built with some extensive documentation model and integration optimization of stats into scientifically into your data set. For that we can use SkyPy. And pandas is very very important because you can either read or write your data from Excel, MySQL, CSV, JSON files, because finally our data is need to be transformed and need to be presented or collect the data, process the data, display the data. For that you need pandas, wonderful library, very very important library, and we need to learn how to perform the data set on a various different aspects. Matplotlib is another scientific model because it displays you your EDA model. It's an exploratory data analysis and give you a lot of visualization of the graphs, 2D objects, diagrams, histograms, scatter plots or charts, that kind of visualization of the data. And whenever you want visualization, you can go with the Matplotlib, or there is one more library called Seaborn, right? So you can try these libraries. For Seaborn is for like more major complicated models like heat maps or time series model, or various type of various plots are there which we going to incorporate in your coding. Scrappy is one of the other library which used to capture the data from web architecture. So it is just like a spider bot which try to crawl the websites and collect the information from those websites. Okay, and we'll transfer that website in our Python code. So as I told you, I need let's say Twitter data or some social media data or some data from certain website. How can you collect that data from other websites? So two ways. If it is a public data, open data, you can use Scrappy. But if it is authorized data, in that case you need API, application programming interfaces. So you need to write a code, or you can use certain tokens or authorized tokens to access that data from third party website to collect the information and transfer that information into your models, right? So that is how we are supposed to go for. If you are interested in some gaming videos, data transformation from animation, audio, videos and all, then we have a Pygame. If you are working on the web application model, we have a library called Django. So this Django is nothing but the web framework by which you can make a website, Python based website. So backend server side programming is your Django. It's on based on not PHP but on Python. uh, we have other libraries like MicroPython, and that is where you can get interaction with the IoT devices or multiple devices like Raspberry Pi, or you have some microcontrollers, microprocessors, and microcontroller using C language or other languages support. If you have those libraries, and it is basically going to support various other devices, and you can generate the results or collect the information. Let's say from sensors, I need to collect the information, doing edge computing, fog computing, or IoT computing. You can use a MicroPython libraries from where, because now the purpose is to collect the data. I think now the concept is clear. We are behind data. We are doing nothing, but we all are behind data. And from wherever you can collect the data, you can process the data, or you can transform that data is our target. Beware and there are various other algorithm by which you can go with the mobile apps. So if you have a data set with the mobile apps and you want to collect and transform, we can use a beware library, which is a Python based library to perform the task with the mobile phones, right? Then you have other libraries, especially called Kiwi, which is again the GUI model and mobile development model, where you can make a platform independent model and transformation of the data, let's say from Windows, Linux, Mac OS, Raspberry Pi, or any iOS, or both Android in case of mobile. So once you are more focused on platform independence, we try to go with the Kiwi platform. So you can make a GUI application, a Kiwi based on Kiwi application, and on that you can execute and you can perform those applications on multiple platforms. So these are some common libraries which we are supposed to do some hands-on using Python. So probably I don't know what the level you learn the Python at your end, but it is highly recommended to go through with the Python, right? Any student, can I get the name of any student or any student who is not good on Python? Is there any person who is not good on Python, or they feel that no, I know, but it's quite not in advanced level or just on a very basic level? Is there any person in the group?
Yeah, yes, sir. I would say that. I
Okay.
have little basic knowledge of it, but I'm working on React and these stuff, so I'm
Okay.
not in very much touch with Python right now.
Okay. Okay, Mahima, that's good. If you are already working on JavaScript, so means your programming skills are good. Shall I consider like that?
Yeah, yes, sir. Kind of, yeah.
Okay, so hardly matters for you because the programming skills and the programming methodologies are almost same. Only the syntax is different. Almost same. If you know, anybody know PHP, or anybody know even C language or any other language, I take my words, Python is more easier than any third party language, any other language. So if you are already working on React, you know what is Node.js servers, and you know all other JavaScript servers and clients, right? You're already working on that model, Maima. That means, so you need not to take much in deeper. See, JavaScript, React is more like web component, web framing and all, right? You can correlate with various other services. But sometimes we want a machine learning model. So JavaScript is more better for some other techniques rather than, obviously we can make a UI by using JavaScript, right? Your React, and you can make some even API, REST APIs and all, very good. You can prepare those APIs with this JavaScript part. But my concern is, we want now a strong model to be designed. And to design a good model, make sure you should be very good on Python. Second, you can alternately you can take R language also. There is a one more language called R language. You can either go with R or Python, but still I recommend your Python is more compatible with almost all the platforms, as I have just shared the list of those libraries. So these all are libraries, nothing else. You need to import the library, and predefined methods are there. So you simply go and use those predefined methods. So input the data in those methods. Method will perform automatically. You need not to learn what is there. Only you know, at least you should know what is the purpose of those method. That is more than enough. And that method performs some task, and that task comes to your output. So you have to collect that return from those functions, and whatever the data returns from that function, you need to present that data. Present in the form of graphical, structured data, or placement into some files or some platform, or could be any other way. So only the purpose of programming is you have to collect the data, right? I think Nishant is also saying, sir, on the basic level. No problem, Nishant. Same thing for you also. Try and understand. If you just try and do some basic practice, what is the purpose why we are using Python? Because it is 100% compliant with today, with all the platforms and all the collection of the data set, and it's quite faster. It is based on interpreter, no compilation or something like that. On basis of interpreter, whatever you wrote will get the output, and then they'll go for the next line, right? So it is based on interpreter model, sort of open source. You need not to pay anything, and you can build any model on any particular platform, and it performs on any platform. So no operating system barriers, platform barriers, right? So there are a lot of, obviously, pros and cons are there. Even like Mahima, you, the thing which you can build on React is not easy on Django. As I have told you, na, one of the library in Python is Django, the Django, Django, Django.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
React is far better than Django, but the concern is still we have web framework, and many more libraries are has already been augmented. Like one of the library I work with is Streamlit, wonderful library, right? Streamlit, and various other libraries are there. So it is purely up to you. You want to make a command based, or you can make it as a application, GUI based application, or a web based application, or API, or whatever level. So it becomes itself as like a framework or an ecosystem. So Python is more compatible with that level of ecosystem prepared by open source community. That is why it is being more famous and more in practical form. Understood? Yes, Suvidha.
Yes.
Mahima, I think concept is clear to you, right? So you just
Yeah.
go through, and I will give you some tips right now how you can enhance your skills also. Nishant, I'll give you also the way how you can get into, and at least you can learn some basics. So I'll take you to that
Yes.
form and in that way so that you can practically do these things. Okay?
So I have one question. Yes, sir. I have one question regarding
Please,
this.
please.
Is Python fast or Node fast, sir?
Okay. It completely depends. Whenever you're talking about node servers, nodes are more like, as I told you, web framework. That means you're more focusing on the web application, sort of. You got a one URL with some port numbers, and you can. So Node.js is like a kind of a bottleneck on a particular port number, where you're collecting the information at that particular stage, goes to the Node.js on a particular port number, and then it performs in the multi-threading mode. So that is the best practice of Node.js. Do not compare Python with Node.js. So focus of the Node.js is more on the web architecture and web performance. Means if you really want to compare with Node.js, you compare with Apache web server, PHP. I think that would be, again, it depends like what type of application you are going to perform, and on that basis you can select any platform, either Node.js or LAMP architecture, LAMP stack, Linux, Apache, Mongo, whichever
Uh,
PHP. So we have
Mahima,
to
can
compare.
you mute yourself like we are getting echo?
Right. Uh, Mahima, it's better. I think now it's good. So understood. There's a difference. So if you go with the Node.js, and I think it's better to compare your Node.js architecture, web architecture, with LAMP stack, not with the Python stack. Python is more like you take it as a backbone of your part, and obviously front end part. So because Python is more on the interpreter side, and it already have a lot of open ended libraries. So compatibility and the futuristic part is again best as compared to even Node.js. So Node.js have their different purpose, Python have their different purpose. You cannot do machine learning, artificial intelligence using Node.js. You can collect the data from Node.js. You can display the data to your web interface using Node.js, but the backend performance, real performance, you need Python. Are you getting my point? You cannot do everything with that. So it is better today not to compare like which one is faster. Wherever you are comfortable and wherever the application you are using for your front end collection of data, UI, especially web UI model, you can use Node.js. But for Python, the Python is more, it's like your brain. It's like your real-time power model. If you really want to compare me with Django library with the Node.js, then I rate more to Node.js as compared to the Django library, that DJ Django we used to pronounce as Django library, right? So that is far better. But concern is, we are not talking about front end UI or back end UI. We have a data which we collect the data in the middle end. We can transfer the data back to the middle end. So your data might be in CSV, Excel sheets, or as I have told you, JSON. So can you read your data in JSON? But who create that JSON? How we collect the data from JSON? How we can collect the data from CSV files? We can process that data. Huge processing we required. You have a big data architecture on the back end. Then you're more on front end or UI collection, data transform, data presentations and all. We are on the brain side. We are on the heart of the computing architecture, and that is why you want a Python. Machine learning is not UI.
So, sir,
Artificial intelligence is not UI. Right?
sir,
Yes, Hari.
sorry, sir,
Yes,
interrupt you.
please.
I'm audible.
Yes, yes, please.
So, sir, you mean, sir, if you the best architecture for web development kind of thing, so Node should be taken as a front end as well as for data communication and all, but back end calculation and everything should be based on the Python. That should be the best architecture.
Right, right, right. And
Oh,
because Python is along with the ecosystem. What is ecosystem? It is kind of a framework designed where you can collect the data from any place, you can perform on any place, and you can transfer that data to any place. So this is the power of Python. Understood? This is the
so,
way how we are
yeah, yeah.
using.
So, sir,
Yeah.
so in backend we can use Node.js plus Next framework along with the Python. And do we also need some other framework to integrate this Python with the Node so that data will be communicated and all?
No need to go with other way. The best practice today for high end application development, transform
Mhm.
your data into the middle end languages like JSON or CSV or Excel sheet sort of, or even you have SQL or whatever the way. So or even why not why API. So those API
Okay.
need to be designed over there, but the performance to be accomplished by Python,
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
right?
sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for
Yeah, yeah.
clarification.
This is the best practice. Understood. निशांत, कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में आ रहा है ना निशांत? अभी समझ में आ रहा है? I hope Nishant is also there. He just messaged that yes, he's also on the basic level. So no problem, Nishant, and other students, if you are on the basic level, okay, good, good. Uh, so I recommend you some websites from where you can start practicing day one. All what you need to do, you have to identify your IDE. I think if the students are using VS Code, I think VS Code is a wonderful IDE these days. People are using more for even for JavaScript and for other languages as well. And Python is also compatible over there. So you can use a VS Code as a front end, but you need a proper virtual environment of your Python, which you need to incorporate over there, and then only it can perform. But I'll suggest you some more stuff, some more important part, right? Anybody heard about the concept of Jupyter? Now, Jupyter is what? Another IDE that is Jupyter, Jupyter, right? So it is
Yes, sir.
Jupyter, and Jupyter is coming on one of the basically it's like a front end web based interface. The same web based interface adapted globally. Even Google give you a one development interface, and that is similar like Jupyter. So anybody heard about Colab. There is a concept called Google Colab. It's a cloud-based model of Google Colab. It's a SaaS, software as a service. If you already have your Gmail ID, if you have your Gmail ID, I think my screen is visible to all or not. No, I think not. I'll share it again. So if you heard about Google Colab, then you can run your applications on Google Colab. In fact, did you ever thought that suppose you are on a mobile, even you are on mobile and you are traveling, let's say from metro, and you are sitting idle doing nothing, can you run a code from your mobile and you can practice complete Python even you're sitting and spending your travel time in your any place or in a cab or wherever you're sitting? So you can simply go and run your code on mobile. So even the best practice, this is what the features, and I'll give you some sites, and so that you can learn Python and you become, at least you can, get your proficiency skills and you can learn that part. Just take a look quickly. I would like to share some things, some basic things. Now the first and best practice for your code, for your interface, because we need interface, right? All what you need to do, you can directly go, you already logged in with Gmail. So I open a Chrome browser, Chrome browser, and I already logged in with my Gmail ID. Okay. And as I have already logged in with my Gmail, so I quickly write Colab. Okay, you just need to write Colab Google, and you will find a proper link, that is colab.research.google.com. You can open and you can see there is a Jupyter where the extensions of the Python programs are py. Py is a Python program code, but but please remember, whenever you are working on the distributed architecture and multi users want to perform on the same project, you want to share your entire same project with multi users or multi developers, and where developers are doing from work from home or something like that, and you want to incorporate their productivity into the centralized data production or performance. So if you think like that level of challenges, right, that level of challenges, you have multi users and working on a same project, or you have a connected with some development companies also. In that case, again, everybody recommend to go with Google Colab. So it is a platform which gives you the actual interface of Jupyter. Okay, that is nothing but the backend is Jupyter. And if you're working your Python code on Jupyter or on Google Colab, then the file extension is IPYNB. I'll repeat, IPYNB. Okay, so that could be an extension, and you can see the extension. See, IPYNB extensions are there. Understood? IPYNB. So the best part, you can download the program, you can upload the program in your Google Colab, and you need not to install anything. And now, can't you access Google Colab even on your mobile? Right. The best part, whatever the files you are going to create, that directly goes and save it in your Google Drive. So it is backend connected with the Google Drive, and even you can incorporate your programs with GitHub or other platforms. The architecture to start with Python, you need to simply go. Everything is ready to go. You need not to fight for anything. Everything is ready to go. Okay, so let's say I might work on any one of the Python code. So I'll just go and click on that Python code. And even you can say welcome over there, and you will get a one interface. So you just need to open that code, or you can go with the click to new workbook. You will get a new workbook. Okay, notebook. So there is a new notebook model is there, and you just need to click to that model. You will get an online editor. So you will get one online editor, and you can share your code with other users as well. So this is the practice. This is the best practice where you can work on Google Colab. I hope you can check with your end. and you can start working with the collab.research.google.com, and there you will got complete code, complete content there. And then this is what, like, I have a code and something which was compiled for I hope I'm doing somewhere some project, something like. So you can see the moment you write a code, you write a code, execute your code, and you will get the output over there. And then you will get output over there and then instantly, right? So instantly. Now if I want to write any code, you can take a new line. Or I was using some Google APIs and all that, I think. Okay, leave it, I'll show you something new. I believe you need to go with the new file. So you can go and a new notebook in Drive. Let's say for you, I'll click on new notebook, and I think you can start with the new notebook, and you will get a one blank line, and you need to write your code, Python code over there, and simply you will get the output. And the best part, this code, this file is with you in your Google Drive. So this is the one of the Google platform, right? Everybody is using, and the interface which you are watching, it's just exactly, it is Jupyter. So we can make offline Jupyter also. It is possible that you can download a offline Jupyter. Might be you will get this kind of interface. And there, if I want to start, right, if I want to start, what I want to start, which type of a platform you want to run. And let's say you want to write your code and you want to start with like a print, okay, if I'll say again your hello world, right? And if I'll just click on execute, the moment you will execute, it process the code, find the relevant libraries of Python, and it gives you the output. See, this is what the output is. Understood? Everybody understood? Now, only what you want, you need a place to write your code. That's it. You need to write your code. This is all what is required. Understood? And now you can make your folders. It's always better to make a one folder and keep all those files within that folder. So organize your data also. So you just need to read all the steps how to work, and you can find the name of the file, which you can download also. This file you can save in the drive, or directly you can save in your GitHub account if you have already logged in, right? Or otherwise, better you can download with, up to you, you want to download with py extension or ipynb extension. Py is a raw level platform oriented applications if you want to run from your core system. But if you are really going to work with the Jupyter as an interface, then the extension is ipynb file. Okay, ipynb file. So this is the best practice where you can try. Otherwise, anybody is working on the concept of so this is one platform where you can, I think everybody can do, and you are on mobile, you can do, and you can run that link, type your code or copy the code from any third party website, paste it over there, try to run, check what would be the output, understand the logics. So it becomes very, very easy for all of you, right? So this is the easiest form. Next, if you really want to go for a big projects, complex projects, is it visible? I think yes, Jayesh Yadav, I think now is it visible now? And that's why I stopped and again I connected. Okay, next is, anybody heard about the concept called Docker? Did anybody worked on Docker?
Yes, sir. Docker is a container.
Very good. If you are already working on the containerization, if you're already aware of, take my words, it's very, very easy, because your entire Jupyter interface is available in the form of image on Docker. I quickly share my screen to all of you. Well, I am on, I'll just uh, give you just a way, like I'm on Linux. Okay, probably you people are on Windows or Mac OS, but we are more on Linux, and this is a very specific Linux. I'll show you the interface. We are the India's first company. I am the first person in India where I file a patent in 2011, and we designed the Indian operating system, and this the name of the operating system is Sedulity operating system. This is the name of my company. I'm the CEO with the company and working from last 30 years in the domain of cyber security, cyber forensics, and today we are more on artificial intelligence. I wrote more than 28 books now, and many of the books are related to various different technologies. I'm the person from the core background of Linux architecture and especially cybersecurity. My PhD is in cybersecurity, cyber forensics part, and I'm a consultant to various law enforcement agencies, various corporate and academic. I'm an advisory in academic also. I wrote many books for IGNOU, and it is a curriculum. It's a part of the curriculum, and you might be reading my most of many of the books over there, right? And many other engineering colleges, like even IITs and other engineering colleges. I'm one of the resource person to train the faculties pan India, government faculties pan India, especially from, even you can take it to even from polytechnics of like IITIs and IITs or NITs or various other engineering colleges. So BTech, MTech, PhDs, 5 PhDs already awarded under my supervision, and every year I think 15 to 20 MTech. I used to mentor the MTech students every year. So I have a connectivity with the academic, and fortunately connected with the merit also for so long, and especially for IGNOU. I'm advisory in IGNOU, and in the same pattern I'm working for so long. I wrote books on conversational AI, where Alexa or Siri kind of projects, how to make those kind of projects, and people are really building their own voice. They compile their voice, and now they are making those kind of projects. So BTech, MTech students from various universities also associated and making these projects with me. Okay, so I'm more into development. You talk about beat any technology. I already had a good experience with that. Okay, so that is why I'm able to answer your queries and able to work on it. And just want to show you, like I'm actually on Linux, but hardly matters. You can be on any other platform. I quickly want to share some more details. Even if it's possible for you, you should be on a, a Docker. Means you need to learn. If any student who is not familiar with the Docker, take my words, you cannot join corporate now or any other organization if you are not good on Docker, and you're looking for a technical job. So you have to learn Dockers and some common technologies, right? So I started my career from 8086, 80186, 286 computer, and we make a lot of servers, Unix servers at that time in 1990s. I was a first pilot batch person where in India, internet introduced in India in 1994. And I was working with the first pilot batch with VSNL, Videsh Sanchar Nigam Limited, and we used to configure modem, right? We learned and we got a training from those companies who provide those modems to convert your analog signals to internet signals or fax tones and AT commands and various other things, and we configure. So from the day one, I'm a core into the technology. If you want any support in any project, you can discuss. I think I can help you somewhere up to some grounds. So recently, I just go and talk, and I'll just, you can take a look. I have a Docker in my system. I hope you can see my screen. So I'm just writing Docker images. Can you take a look? I hope you can see my screen. Yes. So I have various repositories and various images which were already I downloaded in the Docker. And please note down for Jupyter, can you see this? I have a Jupyter slash data science hyphen notebook, a wonderful notebook, a wonderful image which is preloaded with your Jupyter. Already you have a Jupyter downloaded. So entire Google Colab platform is offline in Docker. You need not to fight how to install and all that stuff. It's all online, available publicly, so you can go and check. We have a Jupyter. This is the name of the image. I'll just copy and I'll share it with you also. So you can go with the repository of the Docker, and you can find this image, and simply you can download. See, there you will get a hub.docker.com, and you will get a direct data science library on Jupyter. Simply you need to go and download this image. Obviously you need to install Docker before you start working, right? For the freshers, you need to install a platform, Docker, which is a containerization model, and directly you will get a complete interface with most of the libraries pre-installed. Whatever the libraries, as you read in your book, right? These are all the top level libraries, but in case if it is required, we can download it also. That's a very simple command. But the main part is how you are supposed to work on it. You need to go to that website, that's hub.docker.com, find the content, you will get a command, just pull that image, almost 6 GB. So make sure you need a good internet speeds. Okay, approximately 6 GB download. All right, so it's approximately 6 GB download, and but afterwards everything is ready to go offline without internet. Even you can process whatever you want, except if you want to install the libraries, you need internet. Rest you don't want internet, unless and until your project is not internet based project. Understood how you are supposed to work? So you can get a Docker directly with you in your offline machine if you're working on the project. There is a very simple library. This is how data science notebook or data science libraries. You can simply find, like, say, there you will find even run in Docker. So the moment you click Windows Docker user, simply you can, I think you know how to download and all. So for more details, obviously, otherwise you need to learn what is Docker also. For the freshers, for the new people, they need to learn the concept of virtualization or containerization, and afterwards only you can process the things, right? Otherwise, if anybody is comfortable in the in your uh, virtualization, if you heard about the concept of virtualization, so I'm already using various platform, various operating systems, because we have to test multiple activities which need to perform on those operating systems. So I use one of the concept called Oracle VirtualBox, and within that Oracle VirtualBox I have a lot of virtual machines where I need guest operating systems, right? So you can see I have Windows 11, Windows, especially for malware analysis, I have a separate kit. So you have to create an isolated environment, virtualized environment or containerization before you practice and download all these heavy bulky applications. Even you want VS Code, again VS Code is again on Docker or various other platform. Okay, so it's better you make an isolated environment, deploy your codes on that isolated environment, and then you perform on your machines. If you install it on the default machine, then every day your machine need to load a lot of backdoor daemons, backdoor services, and your operating system become a very hefty or very bulky, and every time you need to load unnecessary services on the back end. And as we are into the development, every even even in the next hour, today I'm just giving you this right now I'm giving a lecture on let's say machine learning or AI. Probably afterwards I have to give a lecture for security. Afterwards I have to connect with a corporate and I have to do some audits. So I'm into versatile domains, And on that basis, my challenge is I need these different platforms. So I have Sedulity operating system, I have Windows 7, I have Windows 10 for malware analysis, I have Windows 11. I think you can see I have a Ubuntu, uh, and various other. I have a servers, I have Forensics Edition, and various other platform. I think you can see. You can take a look. So try and understand what is I have a big data, especially Ubuntu with big data, Hadoop, and all that platform being also incorporated over there. So I think you can understand if you are working on certain platforms, depending upon your requirements. For machine learning, we don't want a guest operating system. We don't want Windows or anything. So I recommend you can try with Docker. You'll get a full computer resources and you can perform it in the isolated environment. So that is why I suggested to go with the Docker, and you can download Jupyter in Docker. Right? For the new commerce, new users, think practically how strong you can work on your devices. Otherwise, if you are not willing to get into these mess, I'll give you one very good shortcut. Very good shortcut. Only internet, even nothing else. Right? So similar like Google Colab is one of the example, but otherwise the newcomers. And now I want to answer for the students who are not good in Python, or they have some challenge to get into it and how to learn and all. For everybody, I want to recommend one website from fresher to the advanced people, right? Everybody should always start with one of the open learning management system. One is W3 Schools. Have you heard about W3 Schools Python? Just go and check that. A wonderful platform. You can just try with the W3C Python, right? So you just need to write W3C Python. Okay. So just simply go with W3C Python and open this website. You need not to log in. You need not to go with anything. On the mobile, in your browser, on your any platform, on your browser, you can open this website. Can you open this website? The best practice on the left hand, you can see the list of all the topics, important topics for Python, and it is in the sequential order. Even any person who never heard how to work on Python, they can start with this particular practice. So they can go and start with this practice and learn what is Python. Let's say I'll take some example. Okay, I'll take a what do you mean by, let's say, if else. I hope you must have heard about if else. If this condition, then do this or do that or something like. Okay, let's say I randomly clicked on a particular link, okay, of Python, and the best part, they will give you the tutorial. They will answer what is the basic practice of to this topic. They'll give you the insight of their operators and same way. So the tutorial part, afterwards you will get a code. Can you see this code? And is it difficult? Take my words, Python is just like English. It's not like programming language, it's like just English. So simple. No variable declaration like in C, C++, Java. No fight for the language issues. Nothing. Even no need to import the library unless and until you have a specific method. For all the basic calls, you need not to do anything. Okay, this is the well in advanced languages. So A, let's say I declare A equals to 33, B equals to 200. Now if B is greater than A, obviously B is greater than A, then what would be the output? Now only the part is there is no semicolon, no that structure. Only the part is another structure in Python. You have a concept of indentation. Indentation means you have to give the tab. That means this print statement only execute if the condition is true. So any condition is true, like if this condition is true, then only you want to run this program, this statement. So anything which is nested, nested to any statement, that is to be indentation, that is to be placed within the indentation. You have to give a tab before you write. So your indentation is correct, your Python code is correct. Rest all is very very simple. And the best practice, can you see the best practice? They have already explained you whatever the things are there, explanation is also there. The best practice, you have an option called try yourself. So the moment you click on try it yourself, it will going to,
Sir,
yeah, yes
your
please.
screen, your screen is not visible.
Acha, give me a minute. Give me a minute.
Okay, sir.
Probably some cache issue or within this Chrome. I'll just uh, share it again. Don't worry.
Okay, sir.
Give me a minute. I'll share it again. I think now it's visible.
Yes, sir. It's visible now.
It's visible now. Good.
Yes, sir.
So I was actually on this part. I wrote a w3schools.com space Python, and you will get a complete interface. Randomly, I click to Python if else condition. So I click on if condition, if page. So this is the page which appears on my screen. It gives you the way how you can use the operators, mathematical logical conditions for your just for the review. And there is a code. Let's say a equals to 33, b equals to 200. Now if b is greater than a colon anything which you want to start, then you have to write colon. There is no curly braces like in C or Java or something like. Okay, so the colon, and afterwards the concept is you have to give the indentation. So Python code is based on the positioning of the data. So after indentation, I have a simple method called print, and in the in the double quote within the paracenthesis of this method. So print is a method, internal method, and you can type whatever the content you want, right? So this is the nested statement of if condition. If this condition is true, you will get the reply. And to check, you now how you will check whether what would be the reply, and also you can have an option called try it yourself. The moment you click on try it yourself, you will get this interface. You found this interface. There you have a code on the left panel, and on the right panel, you can see the output. So this is the best practice. Now the best part, let's say we'll take manipulation, we'll do some manipulations. Okay, so can I change some values? Okay, or change some statement? Yes, why not? So in such cases, you can define any other value. Let's say can I make it let's say 5, and can we compare it with 10 or 20 or whatever. And if I'll make some changes, and if I want to say the any other message, the biggest value is, you can something like whatever you want to print or display or something, right? Is b or a. Obviously it's b because your condition is b is greater than a, suppose. So simply if you run, if you run the code, now again there is an option called run, and it will compare on the real time on the software side. Their servers perform this code, and you will get the output whatever you want, right? and it could be a variable. So if you want take it as a variable, you can use a comma, something like this. And in this case, just try and run the code. See what is the output. You can see the output. Is that clear? I hope this concept is clear. So the
Yes, sir.
best part, you have to go through everybody before you enter. Though this is prerequisite before you enter to machine learning. The prerequisite to enter to the machine learning and AI, go through with the Python code step by step and complete this task. And the best part, who are already aware of these basic programming skills of Python, you can go with OOPS. So there is an object orientation in Python. Make sure everybody should go through with the file handling. For unsupervised learning, for file handling, we have to go. For machine learning, we need a file handling. Must go with the NumPy. I just gave you the idea about NumPy, Pandas, SkyPy. Don't go for Django right now, otherwise it is quite challenging for you. Except the people who are into, who are really already they have a complete idea of web interface like Node.js and all. They can go with Django, but we don't want Django right now. We want NumPy, Pandas, and SkyPy. Very important. You must go through with the matplotlib. As I told you, matplotlib is one of the libraries. So all the libraries and all the different plots and data set is there, even with histograms, pie chart, bar graph, line handling data set. All the libraries are there. And the best part, at the bottom, you also have a machine learning where you have to go through one by one, step by step, right? There you will find almost all the various different algorithms to handle the data, and the code is ready. Code is already ready with you. Just you need to go and analyze the code, understand the code, try it yourself. The moment you click try it yourself, you can find the code, you can manipulate the code, click on run, you'll get the output. Isn't it so easy? Don't you think so? This is so easy. Yes, everybody. I hope now the concept is clear to all.
Yeah, yes, sir. We just need practice.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
So at least you got an interface where you have to start working and practically you start learning all the stuff. So even if you are a beginner, start with the basics. If you are an expert, skip the basic part, simply move to the advanced libraries, like how to handle even databases with MySQL or MongoDB databases. Even a lot of things are there in this particular link, only in this link, single link. It is along with machine learning algorithms. So your I believe 60% job is already there. 60% job of your machine learning and Python. You got a code, you need to run, find the code, understand the code with explanation. It is along with the explanation. Try it yourself, button click, or on mobile, go and check the code, run the code, process the code, get the results free of cost, without login, without any challenge. So very simple for the freshers, for the beginners. I recommend everybody should start in this form. And on that basis, then only you can go and practice how you can get into, Python, and no need to download Python. This is Anaconda, which is again provide you the Jupyter, the core library called as Anaconda. If you can see the book, page number 12 in your book of MCA SL228, there you will find all these things. You can find a good see, Jupyter has already been mentioned. One more is there, Spider, but Jupyter is far better because it is a platform, sharing platform for multi users who can interact on the same code. Individually, probably you are on VS Code, you can try VS Code, very good platform, no doubt in it. Or I told you, go with Google Colab. All right, how to perform, you will get this kind of interface, write your code, start working on it. That's it. So In case you want to practice your own code, you can keep it in Google Colab, or if you want to run any open-ended code, you want even a code to learn any topic, simply go to W3 Schools and process and practice on it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So I think now learning experience is quite easy for everyone, and everyone can understand how to start things on it, right? So this is good practice. I think you can initiate with this model. See, you got all the details about for the advanced environment people, how you can define your virtual environments, how to install any library using PIP, how to handle your data with your JSON values or regular expression, mathematical form, how to handle dates, arrays, functions. So common programming skills are already there. Your data in the collection is like list, tuples, sets, and dictionaries. These are the four type of data collection model. We have to use list, tuple, sets, dictionaries in machine learning. So make sure you should go through with all the steps, right? So I think I gave you a lot of idea, and you now it's your turn to practice. So this is all practical labs. I think you got the way. Every student should go through all these libraries. Probably few of them can do quite early, and few may take some time, but that is okay. That is okay. From the beginners to advanced level, this link is good to go. And obviously, then I'll give you something more in advance. If you really want to go for advance, we'll go for it. So this is your first step. Start working with Python and initial algorithms, initial learning. I gave you the idea what is the way to connect and to work on Python, right? And how we are going to incorporate machine learning and then AI with Python. So hope the concept is clear to all. And now it's your turn. You please practice. Now I'll just stop the interaction and this session part. I'm online, I'm still online. At least you practice and you explore by yourself and write the code by yourself. So today you don't have anything, you have mobile, you have a laptop, you're already connected, and you have internet. That means, so why don't you start W3 schools on your browsers? Just quickly start reading, learning, and step by step you will get the complete content. So is there any further query, any other query? I think we have many sessions, but step by step, and we'll define some task also. And in fact, you all have to go through with some assignments given by your system. So you all have to go through with that as well. Even today, we have a sessions till 4 o'clock, right? We have a session till 4 o'clock. So even there they mentioned you have to go through with the session number 4 to 6, 7 to 8. No, come on, don't be in this format. I prefer you today. I'll be online. You please message or unmute and just call me. I will help you. You can also share your screen in case if you are facing any challenge while installation or downloading or Docker image or something like that. If you're doing so, you need to practice. Otherwise, simply start with the W3 schools. Everything ready to go. No interface, nothing. Right? And the best part, even it is not that you only write a code. You can define your. Don't go with this predefined codes. You can write your own code as per your wish, and simply run, and you will get the output. So you can copy any code, you can paste on these interfaces and run. That's it. So this is a good practice. I think you can try. Okay. So till 4 today, I'll be connected, I'll be online, but I prefer you start practicing. If you really want a good projects, I recommend you only go with the Docker or a core in virtual environment. You should download the entire Jupyter or complete Python with any IDE like VS Code or a Jupyter. Wonderful way to start with. Offline you can make good projects. Your content, your code must be preserved and with you. But for learning, start with the W3 schools. And for sharing some information, or you want to practice and don't have such a space in your hard drive or personal machine, so hardly matters, you can use the concepts of cloud, use a Colab, Google Colab, make your pages over there and save it in Google Drive. It's very good to go. It's really good and easy to go, right? So I think now it's your turn. Start working. Still you face any inconvenience, let me know. Okay. I am connected. You also get connected and start working practically. All right.
Okay,
So
sir. Thank you,
I
sir.
think today a big dose to all, Hannah. Okay. Yes. You somebody saying. I think somebody want to say something. So I think all clear. All concept is clear to all, right? Great. Perfect. So start step by step. Okay, got it. Satyavati, you want a link for Jupyter? All right, give me a minute for that Docker image. No, give me a minute. I'll just give it to you. Just give me a minute. I was just copying actually your attendance, so just give me a minute. You know, operations. These kind of operations are important as well. So where you located? Yes, you are in this GNU IGTT Merit with Merit folder MSC MCSL 028 and okay, so this is all your attendance part. Now you want a link. Give me a minute. In fact, you can uh, go with the Docker and directly you can search also. It's not a very common link, but I'll share it. Give me a minute. Share it. Okay. See, there are various libraries. I think you can try this one, or I also have one, this one. This is also good. You can try with this. I think you can see I have this base notebook, and from there I also derive the things. You can try this one or other one. So once you do a Google, you will find two. One is base one, and I think you must try this one, because frequent changes are always going on. Just check this one. It is good to go for you. I'll share it. It is along with Python 3.11. Today even various other versions of 3x, but depending upon their libraries, the methods also performs accordingly, and most of the methods also get sometimes deprecated. So we are learning uh, advanced versions, and you have to do hands-on on it. So that becomes a category now. Jupyter, then data science hyphen notebook. That becomes a category now. You can see, right? And under that there are various other types of platform. You can take latest colon after colon, that becomes a one latest, or this one. Just give me a minute. I think you can go with this one, right? So there are many images under this category you can find, but try this one. Are you on Linux? Actually, I'm also on Linux now, so I search and obviously your Docker images are always on Linux. So you can pull. I think I'll give you a direct link of that. Just check this one. I share it uh, on the chat.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, great. So you can try this, or otherwise I think the other one which is famous. So it's all up to you which version you want, I believe. Okay, and accordingly you can use it. I am personally.
Sir, if you are using Linux, it's already inbuilt Python, no? So need not to install this.
No, it is there with Python, but we want isolated environment, because sometimes I need some libraries for certain tasks, or some other libraries or other versions for other tasks. Today, if suppose
Okay.
I have seen many projects which are still working with Python 3.10. Even if you have the upgraded version 11 or 12, you'll face a lot of challenges. So sometimes version issues, sometimes the applications or method might be deprecated or used only for certain task in that particular language. So that, because it's an open source environment, we have to make a virtualized environment first of all. And under that virtual environment, let's say today you want to run on some application which are applicable on Windows 7, and might be it works on Windows 10 but not working on Windows 11, right? So it doesn't mean that you simply go and upgrade your operating system or upgrade libraries or versions. Even in Windows, you have a Visual Studio. Thousands of applications are specifically for Visual Studio framework, and on the basis of their version it works. So sometimes we need those content, that particular content, with their libraries and dependencies. So that is why, being a developer, it is highly recommended you first make your isolated environment, your virtual environment, deploy your Python and other details in that virtual environment, and then practice. If you deploy it in the base operating system, then probably you face some challenges with a certain task or certain application. So always for this part, go with virtual. I have VS Code also, means I have everything. Yeah, we are working on all these environments. There is a one more in Linux. You can go with uh, EEVEN, virtual environment. Virtual environment. You can go with a VENV environment. Virtual environment is also possible. Give the name of your virtual environment, let's say code, and you can get into that code, activate the libraries within that virtual environment, and then you install Python. So you got a one virtual environment, and then you deploy whatever the version of Python you want, or whatever the IDE you want. So first you make and get into it, and then create a VENV, that is virtual environment. So that is one of the application. Even you can try on the command line. So I have many other. I have a Docker, I have VENV environment, or if I want complete platform, then I have shown you, I already have a virtual box. So I'm also on virtual box. My machine is completely with all VMs. And as and when required, I work the things on that basis. Right?
Okay. Yeah,
Install the
yeah, got it, sir. Got it. Thank you.
purely up to you. But today, never install everything directly in your base machine. Otherwise, every time you start, now suppose you are doing other tasks, some other job, and you are not in programming, you are doing some official work or other work. Why on the back end you want like your database is on, their threads are open and unnecessary utilizing your resources? Right? So I never recommend to download all the libraries, even Python or any language or any platform, any software, directly on the base machine. Keep your base machine as new as it comes in the fresh installation. Rest, you create your virtualized environment or containerization environment, then deploy your applications within that. Go and get into that environment, perform your task over there, come back. Your system is ready to go and handle as much as load you can place. Means if you can't imagine, the machine which I am using right now is almost 15 years old machine. I have i3 right now. I'm on i3, I think second or third generation laptop, with only 8 GB RAM. Only I have a SSD, and again it's not NVMe, it is just a SSD, right? And on that, can you see how much the applications which I'm running? So I have only 8 GB RAM. This is what I have, only 8 GB RAM, and my processors only second, third generation. So last 15 years I'm using this laptop, and it is working fine like anything, right? Because and the performance is quite high, because on the core, this is actually with the Microsoft hardware and all. The day I got and bought this with Microsoft Windows, first day I removed Windows and I installed my OS, which is Linux based OS, and I have a high performance in Linux as a base machine, and rest all whatever the software is required, I'll just pursue, and I'm working on it. So you can see how much things are there in my machine and how I am performing. Purely up to you how you, even you bought a new machine, even you don't get such good results as I used to get on my machine, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's a very frequent, sir. It's go down as we move on the same environment we are putting, so our system performance go down very drastically.
I know, because if you
Mm.
go with some virtualized application also, even the new machines, their performance and it starts lacking after certain period.
So, sir, in the virtualized environment, our graphic cards are also shared, or is
Yes.
it only RAM, hard disk,
No, no,
only
no,
that?
no, it is there. It's already there. If you must see, my screen is visible now.
Yeah, yeah, it's a very much visible, sir.
Okay, so you can see, if you go and select any part, and you can go to display. If you go and check the display, there
It
the
has
display of
frozen, sir. Your screen is frozen, sir.
frozen. I think this is
Yeah.
another problem coming very frequently in the browser, because browser cache is another challenge. Actually now the load is always on the browser side. No problem.
Yeah.
Give me a minute. I think now it's visible, right?
Yes, sir. It's a visual.
So if you go to the display, can you see the video RAM? How much
Yeah,
RAM?
yeah,
So
yeah.
as
Yes,
the
yes.
maximum RAM is only I have 128, so you can define as per according whatever you want. Even you can take it to the multiple monitors in case you have multiple monitors. Graphic controller, you will find a graphic controller over there, and you can share your graphic resources, even enable 3D acceleration if your system supports.
Okay. So suppose I have NVIDIA graphic cards of 4 GB. So 2 GB I can dedicate for my
Exactly, you can extend the space for that. You can
yeah, yeah.
dedicate 2 GB
Okay.
and all.
Yeah,
Same
yeah.
way like
Okay,
you
sir.
have other resources, no? RAM
Yeah, yeah.
sharing, you have a processor sharing. Like you can see, I have only 4 core. Can you see this?
Yeah, 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 I can see, sir.
Means
I can see.
actually 2 core and then dual, so it becomes 4 threads of the processor. And out of that, I have given two core, let's say for Windows.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So you can see
Yeah,
my
great, sir.
machine,
Great.
and it is still working like only you need to tune it. And how do
Yes.
I tune? I only tune in the way like as I told you, everything in virtualization, nothing to be installed on the base machine.
Fantastic, sir.
And
Fantastic.
then only you can perform. So I want Windows 11, even I want Windows 7.
Yes,
I
yes.
want a server technology, or even I want like big data, or I want forensics, or I want malware analysis. So you can see my diversification in the computing which I want. Even few of the machines are for my accounting people, tally and all those things for my company. So why tally people want to work with malware analysis? There is no point, or any forensics or any server. So make isolated environment, something like that, virtualized environment.
Got it, sir. Got it. Sir, I'm trying. It's a very good practice, sir, actually.
Yes, now you all have to practice. Everybody start working on it, and as and when required, like let's say I have a MariaDB, if I need a database, I have a separate Docker for it.
Yes.
Same way for you, I think this is the best practice. You can try with another Docker data science notebooks.
Yeah.
Great. So all the best. Go
Yeah.
ahead. I still connected. Not
Sir, can we get your contact number, sir?
certainly. Even everyone can note down my number. If they want any support, I'll share it on the chat. It's 91. Sorry. Yeah, 9811485729. This is my number, 9811485729. My name is Dr. Anup Girdhar, right?
Yeah.
So anyone face any inconvenience or any problem, even you can send me the WhatsApp. This is my WhatsApp number also.
Yeah.
You can
Okay, sir.
connect me accordingly, right?
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Great, great. God bless to all. And please pursue now and start practicing. I'm also connected. But yes, meanwhile, you can also do your jobs and practice it till 4 p.m. We are supposed to connect. And accordingly, I think the management will take some attendance also over there. So please mention your roll numbers and all the details. I think you already have a practice to go for. So just go through with that, and still you face any inconvenience, any doubt, so please just text on the group or unmute and speak. I'll be there to help you all. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.